Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to our Tax Savings Tuesday live chat. Today, we're going to unfold the behavior or decoding human behavior for financial success. How's everybody doing? Happy Thanksgiving. How did you do on Thanksgiving? I hope everybody had a wonderful time and it's a great long weekend. But now we're back again for work. And a few weeks from now, it's already Christmas and New Year. But before we do the year end, I just want to acknowledge everyone. If you're listening right now, please type your name and what state or city you're from so we can give you a shout out. We are here all the way from Dallas, Texas. I'm Chris Waikoko. I'm a business developer, IRS acceptance agent, and founder of an all year round, all in one accounting and wealth planning services here in the US. But this live chat won't be possible without my guest for today. He is Erickson professional coach. He's a certified in integrative hypnosis, the Martini values facilitator, trained the Martini Method Facilitator and Human Behavioral Specialist. Let us all welcome no other than Corbin Brookshow. Yes, Corbin, good morning.
Chris, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
I am absolutely exceptional. I'm happy to be here, and I'm ready to have a very insightful conversation with you.
Mhm. Yeah, let's do it. Did you break a leg? Did you eat a turkey?
Did I eat the turkey? I did. I had
Yes.
a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. So very
Oh,
grateful for this holiday, and the timing of the decoding human behavior for financial success could not be better.
mhm.
You know, as we
Right. Mhm.
as we go into the new year and as we're in the holiday season, I know that finances are a big thing for the majority of people. This is for some people, a very enlightening time, and for some people, a very trying time. So I'm
Mhm.
very excited to be able to unleash and open up kind of some understanding for individuals to go into the new year with and to understand, finances around the holidays. So I'm ready if you are.
Yes, what are the things do you think impact the financial success of human behavior?
Wow. All right. We're going right into it. So,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really talk about financial success you can't really talk about human behavior without talking about value systems. So,
Mm-hmm.
every individual on the face of the planet, Chris, has a fingerprint specific value system. It's a hierarchy of values that is snowflake specific, fingerprint specific to them. So nobody has the same value systems. People can have similar value systems, but nobody has the same. Why are value systems important? You perceive the world, you act in the world, and you make your decisions based on values. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, if I walked into a crowd of individuals and asked how many people here want to be financially free, I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
just about every hand would go up, right?
Yes.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I asked that same crowd of individuals how many people actually are financially free, a lot less hands would go up. Now, why is that? There is a very big difference between having a value on financial independence and a value on wealth building versus a fantasy of the lives of the rich and famous, right? The yachts and boats and
Mm-hmm.
airplanes and lavish vacations, yada, yada, yada. So, there is a good majority of individuals that perceive wealth as this big lavish lifestyle of endless vacations or financial freedom or whatever they may perceive it as. But what they don't have is an actual value on financial independence or wealth creation. And if wealth creation and financial independence is not within your top 3 to 4 value systems,
Mm-hmm.
there's a very low probability of you actually achieving it because it's just simply not that intrinsically important to you.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about because there are some clients of ours that business did not become successful because they entered into a partnership because they heavily rely on friendship but did not realize that their partner is an impulsive buyer. Is being an impulsive buyer impacts the overall performance of a business? for financial success?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
give another example. This is why it's really good to have a list when you go shopping. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you walk into a store and you have a list, the probability of you sticking to that specific list and only buying the things on that list goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you walk into a store without a list, then you have the impulses of, buy this, the influence of the salespeople. And a lot of these are amygdala based decisions. They're external
Mm-hmm.
factors that are driving your decisions versus having that list of things that that you need to buy and that's all you're going to buy really helps with that impulse shopping. So this holiday season, if people can have a defined list of exactly what they want to buy and stick to that, then the impulse decisions are going to go down because those are different brain areas. One of those impulse decisions is a subcortical region of the brain, and the calculated objective decisions is actually an executive center region of the brain. Did that answer your question or no?
Yeah, it really answered the question, like having a list, because right now so many clients of ours, they enter in the business partnership because they are friends, and then they regretted it because people think that the business, you're making tons of money in the first year, but then they shop for Louis Vuitton, they bought a brand new car, and they don't have money. Like when they make money from the business, they use the money to buy more expensive stuff on their personal stuff, on their personal or family things, that's why they ended up losing budget on the business, and
So
they
that
ended up getting loans.
that goes right back to the conversation we were just having as to whether you actually have a value on wealth creation and financial
Mm-hmm.
independence or not. Right. So, and for those individuals that are like, well, Corbin, how do I know this? There's a value determination process that we can actually go through. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a value on wealth creation and financial independence, you can actually add that as a value to your values hierarchy if that's something that you genuinely really want to achieve. But in business, Chris, if two partners have the same skill set, one
Mm-hmm.
of the two of those partners is unnecessary.
Mm.
Right. So
Yeah.
in a business partnership, you should have complementary skill sets, but they shouldn't be the same, or else one of the two of us isn't needed. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that when it comes to strengths and weaknesses, every individual should do the work to really understand and dial down on their strengths, and also do the work to thoroughly objectively assess their weaknesses and
Mm-hmm.
then delegate out what's not highest priority action. So back to the values conversation, you thrive in the area of your highest value. So there again, these operate in a hierarchy. So the lowest values just go, 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 go. They're infinite, but there is a highest value, and this is where your identity is held, and this is ultimately your hierarchy of values ultimately dictates your destiny. So if somebody's doing something that's lower on their values, they're going to hesitate, they're going to procrastinate, and they're ultimately going to be
Mm-hmm.
frustrated. And their day is going to fill with low priority distractions instead of high priority actions. So, as
Mm-hmm.
business owners, it's to our advantage to understand what our highest value is and then set highest priority action steps every single day in alignment with that highest value. And that's where you'll begin to thrive.
Yeah, that's what we realized, that partners you need to have a different strengths and weaknesses. It needs to be something, most of the time it needs to be opposite. No two people can be doing the same job in a partnership. Like someone need to be an extrovert or introvert, somebody need to be handling more the accounting, somebody needs to be handling more the marketing, and those are two different type of skill sets in terms of human behavior that also impacts the financial success. Do you think it's important to separate the spending habits on personal versus the business expense or business budgeting?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because each business has different operating expenses and capital expenditures, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that you gotta have discipline around that, absolutely, or else you'll go out of business, right?
Yes. Is there like a set of formula? Because we're talking about the value of wealth creation. Is there like
Yeah.
some sort of formula that you can recommend for people?
Yeah, absolutely. So this formula did not come from me. This came from the works of Dr. John Demartini, but I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
to share this. So it's actually called the 6 steps to wealth. So step number 1 is building a business that serves ever greater numbers of people. Step number
Mm-hmm.
2 is to manage that business to make it more effective and efficient to maximize profits. Step number
Manage.
3 is to save an ever progressing portion of those profits. Step number 4 is accelerated investments by greater degrees of leverage. Step number
Mm-hmm.
5 is accumulation. And step number 6 is creating a financial cause that leaves a legacy. So if you
Okay.
follow those 6 different steps, those are steps that Dr. John Demartini has come up with over his vast career of understanding the
Mm-hmm.
human condition and human behavior. So again, number 1 is building a
Yeah.
business that serves an ever greater number of people.
Yeah. Can we dissect real quick each of the 6 steps? Because this is a very interesting points that you mentioned that there are 6 steps. So let's go with number one, greater number, right? Number of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do
So
you mean by that?
just having an infrastructure and having a business set up that allows you to expand and serve as many people as possible, right? So like for instance, in my coaching business, I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love doing one-on-one coaching, and I do one-on-one consulting. However, there's a lot bigger audience that I can reach doing live seminars and doing group coaching, and I'm just as
Mm-hmm.
effective in a group setting as I am one-on-one. Now you expand that even further to like Zoom calls, right? So
Mm-hmm.
only one-on-one is direct. Now I can only get so many people in a single room, but now I can actually have really as many people as I want on a Zoom call. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how I would define serving ever greater numbers of people.
Of infrastructure of people. This is basically when we're talking, these are 6 steps of wealth accumulation, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the first step is greater number of people, which you build. When we say people, these are the target clients or
And
audience
yes,
that
of the
you
individuals
want to
that need your
serve.
product or service. Correct.
Okay, that's number one, which is very good because your clients actually, they are the ones that will continue and take your business to the next level. And you should not. Do you believe that not everybody is your market?
That everyone
You have
should market.
that not everyone is your market, right? Do you believe that not everybody would be
I
your
think
target audience?
the more yeah, I believe that the more niche down you can
Mm-hmm.
get, the better your product or service is going to be, because you're going to serve the actual individual that needs what you can provide. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a big thing for me, Chris, starting
Yes.
out, because human behavior is a very broad and vast world, right? There's a lot to all of this, especially when you've been doing it for
Mm-hmm.
so many years. So that was a big thing for me to niche down and really find my individual that I feel like I could serve and be, of as much service to at the highest possible level.
That's good because I always listen to Jeff Bezos what he said. Be obsessed with your clients. You need
Yeah.
to know what your clients wants and what your clients feedback because they will give you more services that you can offer. It's more like complementary services. And go ahead.
So one thing that I suggest to all business owners is, if your business is not where you want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
then my first suggestion is know the name, first and last name, of every single one of your current clients. For whatever
Wow.
reason, Chris, for whatever
First and
reason,
last name.
the universe, the world, God tends to respond to that in an abundance. There was
Wow.
another story that Dr. John told about his chiropractic practice many, many, many years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
about how he started to memorize the name of every single one of his clients. And as a result of that, the influx of new business that came as a result of that was mind blowing. So that's something that I do, and that's something that I encourage. It might seem a little silly, and you know what? You got nothing to lose trying it out. But I promise you that if you start to do that, and you're very intentional about that, because you're intentionally putting energy and effort towards those individuals and towards growing that business, and what you put out, you're ultimately going to get back.
It feels different when you were mentioned by name, especially in a networking event. If somebody remember you, hey Chris
Absolutely
or
does.
Corbin, it gives you that kind of value, and vice versa if you remember the other people's name as well. Now, on number two, you mentioned manage. I didn't get the what is the second step of wealth accumulation, which is manage.
Manage the business to make it more effective and efficient to maximize
Mm-hmm.
profits.
Mm-hmm.
So there's likely a lot of small business owners that are doing everything. Right? When we start
Oh
out,
yeah,
we do everything. We're our
wearing
own
different
this, we're our
hats.
own that, we're
Mm-hmm.
all those things. And the faster that you can delegate lower priority things so that you can step into and serve in your serve in your highest value at the highest capacity, the
Mm-hmm.
faster you're ultimately going to get where you want to go. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where there are other people that have the lower the things that are not as high priority, high value to you, likely are someone else's highest values.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you can delegate out those lower priority things, then that's going to open you up to do what you do best and serve at the highest capacity.
Yeah, because there are some things that there are routine. When you say lower priority, there are routine things that can be delegated, whether you have an executive assistant to check the emails, check the
Yeah.
messages. Those are routine. Sometimes graphics could also be delegated because there are also high level of decision making that you need to do, whether budgeting, cutting costs, or even dealing with high-end value client. You're the one, you cannot delegate it and have somebody to talk to a bigger client. You need to be the one talking to these people. And I do truly believe on delegation. You need to delegate lower priority, but always make sure that you're the one taking care of high-end value client at the same time
Yes.
decision making
Well,
inside the company.
and for the individuals that are saying, Corbin, delegation sounds fantastic. I would love to do that, but like, where do I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
There's two things, Chris. You can either do what you love by delegating,
Mm-hmm.
or you can love what you do by linking. What does that
Wow,
mean?
love what you. Mm-hmm.
You can either do what you love by delegating, so the lower priority, lower value things, delegate them out, or you can link whatever these lower things are that are a pain in your butt, that are causing you to procrastinate and hesitate and frustrate, to your highest values. So you can do
Mm-hmm.
what you can do one of the other, right? So once we know someone's values hierarchy, we can go, okay, these things are all lower value, lower not. When I say lower value, I'm not saying lower value to the business. I'm saying in terms of that person's intrinsic hierarchy of values, it's not of utmost importance to their own value systems.
Mm-hmm.
So they can either delegate that out or figure out how each one of those specific job descriptions or work descriptions or tasks is helping them fulfill what they value the most. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, nobody goes to work for the sake of a company. They go to work for the sake of fulfilling what they value the most. So
Mm-hmm.
if an individual finds themselves frustrated and just all these things that they don't really feel inspired to do, then those are two options that they can embrace that will make their life significantly more, fulfilling and easier.
This is so interesting. When you say do what you love by delegating, and the other one that you said is love what you do by linking. Is that what you're saying?
Love what you do. So love what you do by linking. So again,
Mm-hmm.
taking whatever the job description or the task that you don't want to do and figuring out how it's helping you fulfill what you value most
Oh,
and
okay. Wow.
linking that as many times as it takes until you're intrinsically inspired to do it. Because
So you're finding reason. You're finding reason to do these hard things.
once you can clearly see how doing that action step is helping you fulfill what you value most, you
Yeah.
intrinsically want to do it. You no longer need external motivation to get it done.
Hmm. That's what I believe on what I think it's Tony Robbins said. You need to have a bigger why. The bigger the why, the easier the how.
Well, and that exactly, that kind of leads into the values hierarchy of like, well, Corbin, if I don't have financial independence as one of my
Hmm.
top 3 or 4 values, then how can I go about adding that? You figure
Hmm.
out general benefits to specific action steps. So the advantages of you beginning to change that behavior, the advantages and the benefits of doing specific wealth building action steps, and then depending on where you want it to land within your hierarchy of values, you can take that one step further and link it
Hmm.
specifically with it within the hierarchy. So we're
With
going
your
down the
reason.
rabbit hole, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I actually did not expect that there are 6 steps of wealth accumulation. Now, let's go with this third step you said about sales. Is that correct? What's the third step?
Save an ever progressive portion of the profits.
Save the profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So continue to save more and more and more of the profits as your business continues to grow. So
Mm.
oftentimes, and I've seen this a lot actually in the direct sales and network marketing world, and
Mhm.
other worlds as well. But a lot of the time, Chris, someone's lifestyle will match their income. And this is a big mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves falling into, is that the
Mhm.
second they get a pay raise, their lifestyle goes up. And then
Goes
they get
up,
their
yes.
pay raise and then their lifestyle goes up. And then they get to the point
Mhm.
where if something in their income begins to shift not in their favor, now it's like, oh my gosh, like my lifestyle, instead of my lifestyle staying here and my income being here, it's, the tension between those two things is very, very tight because their income and their lifestyle have basically been following each other.
That's the reason why one thing that I've noticed with Chinese when I was in the Philippines, instead of them buying the new iPhone, they still using the Nokia. They still live in the commercial building that they rented out with people. They don't buy luxury houses. They want to reinvest and then making sure that they're growing their income, but they're cutting more of their expenses. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
just some sort of balance at the end. And then that's why I kind of feel sad with people that are my clients, that they said it's so hard to live in the bigger city because the expenses are also bigger. But I don't I disagree with those concepts, because no matter where you live, if you know the from the profit, you know how to invest and save equals your expenses. I think anywhere you go, you can really make a wealth out
Yeah. Well,
whichever.
and too, Chris, like these things are not taught, right? Like
Yes, in school.
the psychology of wealth building and decoding human behavior for financial success and the unconscious, subconscious underlying factors behind our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. These are
Mhm.
not things that are widely taught. So I think people can get in the habit of beating themselves up for presumably not being where they want to be yet. And my suggestion to them is to look at their hierarchy of values
Mhm.
and compare what they say they want to what their life is actually demonstrating is important to them. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in what someone tells me they want. I'm
Mhm.
interested in what their life is intrinsically demonstrating is actually important to them right now, because
Mhm.
there can be a really self-defeating contrast in that, where someone goes, well, I want this and I want this and I want this. Well, then what we can do in that regard is begin to change the value structure, right? Like, because you're not doomed, right? But
Yes. Mhm.
it's but if someone really truly genuinely has a desire for something that they're not getting, then there's work that we can do within that to see where it actually falls in their values. Is it actually a high value? Is it a high priority? Or is it lower on the values hierarchy, and things that are higher on their values hierarchy are taking over, and they're making their decisions and acting upon that? Because the truth behind human behavior is this: every individual makes the decision that they believe will give them the greatest advantage over disadvantage at any given moment in time in accordance to their highest value.
Mm-hmm.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
So
so does it follow the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? When you say value,
that's
are this physiological needs first, then second would be love and belongingness? Does it follow the same needs like what Maslow, or this are customized or different based on the experience of people?
I'm sure they intertwine somehow. I have not done
Mm-hmm.
the research and have not done the digging to know exactly how those two cross, but I'm sure they
Mm-hmm.
align in some regard, but I don't want to misspeak.
And that's why talking about alignment, we'll go to step number 4, which is accelerated. You mentioned about what does step number 4?
Yeah, so accelerated investments by greater degrees of leverage. So, and I want to be careful here. I'm not a, I'm not you. I'm not a CPA. I'm not giving any
Yeah,
financial
we're
advice.
not.
But,
No,
but
it's a general
yeah,
conversation.
basically accelerating, being able to accelerate investments as a result of understanding, how to use leverage to your benefit. So this
Mm-hmm.
is where things like real estate come into
Real
play.
estate, mm-hmm.
This is where like someone like
Stocks.
yourself would be the perfect individual to talk to about how to do this, because this is your
Mm-hmm.
ballpark. But
Yeah, that, mhm.
these are the general steps of how to create and build and sustain wealth. But the one those steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are great to know, but
Yes.
those steps need to be considered alongside an individual's hierarchy of values, because
Mm-hmm.
not everyone has a value on wealth creation and financial independence. There's
Mm-hmm.
people can have values on all different kinds of things. So, and it doesn't make any individual more or less of anything. Like, it's their own unique hierarchy of values that they deem as important
Mm-hmm.
for a fulfilling life.
Yeah, that's why yeah, accelerated investments like compounding interest, life insurance is another. There are so many stocks and bonds. It's like thinking just in a layman's term, how much money, how much interest your money can make in the bank compare with other investment like real estate. Does it gives you asset, or does it avoid you from paying too much taxes or delaying your taxes? Those are accelerated investments that a lot of people, what I've noticed, so many are impulsive and they just want to have something instant access, but they don't really know the value of their money until it's gone. Now,
So
mhm,
I'm glad you brought up like the impulses and instincts. So
mhm,
impulse and instinct, Chris, these are subcortical brain region amygdala based behaviors. So there is a method. So I put DeMartini method facilitator in my bio. What is the DeMartini method? It is a method of systematic questions that
mhm,
allow unconscious information to come to the conscious mind, to equilibrate the conscious mind, turn on the executive center so that we can be objective. It was created by Dr. John DeMartini, and it is a method that
mhm,
I'm trained in and that I actively help clients with in my coaching and consulting business. So the reason I bring this up: impulses and instincts begin to calm down as a result of applying the DeMartini method. Because
mhm,
every single time we do the method, blood, glucose, and oxygen goes up into the forebrain, the medial prefrontal cortex, the executive center, the seat of the soul, as some might call it. and you become more objective, you become more disciplined, you become more reliable, you're more focused, you're more on purpose, you're more in sync. You're a lot of beautiful things come as a result of that. So the
Mm-hmm.
impulses and instincts are, again, lower brain region, subcortical brain region behaviors, and then you start to light up the executive center and you have more objectivity, and those impulses and instincts begin to calm down as a result.
Wow, there's a lot of. That's why, guys, we have a replay on our YouTube channel, because these are really great and deep insights for you know to watch it again. So that's why we would like to go on step number 5, which is accumulation. What accumulation of what on step
Just
5?
yeah, just accumulate. Right? So
Just accumulate all the investments that you have and then the
yeah,
profits that you have.
you've,
Then
you've
step
set
number
up,
6 is
create a financial cause that leaves a legacy. Whatever
create a
that means,
legacy.
whatever that
Uh,
means to the individual.
Yeah, I think when do you have you read the book about creating legacy? Have you read the book of What Would Rockefellers Do?
I have not. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, what we're talking about creating a legacy is creating generational wealth, because what would Rockefellers do? They do have succession wealth planning, so which means that they minimize or zero out their taxes by building trust, making sure that the kids don't inherit taxes as well. Compared with the Vanderbilt, there's another it's like Samsung versus iPhone before, where the Vanderbilt, they did not do succession while planning, so that's why their company were gone, either filed bankruptcy or they closed, because they did not have any succession planning in terms of minimization or
Ah,
zeroing those taxes out. So those are some of the loopholes that I do suggest to read. What Would Rockefellers Do? It's a very interesting book, and that's why I really love your insights. I did not expect more of this from our conversation today, but this is a very interesting topic that we would need to have another
yeah.
segment on by coming next year. Again, guys, we will just do the recap that there are 6 steps of wealth accumulation. Number 1 is building a greater number of infrastructure of people that will be your clients or customers. Step number 2 is manage your business effectively in terms of delegation. Step number 3, save the profits. Step number 4, accelerated investments. Step number 5, accumulation of the investments and the profit. And then step number 6 is create a legacy. There's so much things that I may take away for today, Corbin. Before anything else, that this presentation is not possible without our company, which is Wyco Tax. We are an all year round, all in one for accounting and wealth planning service solution here in the US. By the way, Corbin, how would they contact you for more information so we could also promote it here?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram at Corbin D Bruckshaw. So
Mm-hmm.
Corbin, letter D for dog,
Mm-hmm.
Brucksaw. Chris, do we have a couple more minutes to go into a few more other things, or are we out of time?
We only have 5 because we have 5 minutes. So go
Okay.
ahead if you want to go for other parts of
Yeah,
the conversation today.
so I just wanted to make mention of something real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
for the individuals that found value in this conversation, please reach out. Please send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm more than happy to have a conversation and, dig deeper and see how specifically I can help you achieve your personal and financial and business goals going into
Mm-hmm.
2024. I wanted to make mention, and this is my first time telling you this as well. We are doing a mastermind next year, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be a 1 day intensive where it's basically myself and my circle of individual friends, my expert friends in different fields, fitness, finance, mindset, maybe some martial arts stuff, all different kinds of things, where it's going to be one solid day of my inner circle of people coming together to be able to take people as deep as we can go in 1 day in the areas of fitness, finance, basically, fighting, martial arts of some degree, and
Mm-hmm.
breaking through any mental barriers that they're walking in with. So it's going to be a jam-packed day. We're going to have experts in the field that are there. And again, if somebody is interested in hearing more about that, it's going to likely be here in Dallas, Texas in February, at the end of February. And they can send me a DM for more details. But I can
Yeah.
promise you it's going to be a day that they don't want to miss.
What we will do, Corbin, at the end on our description, I will provide your contact information. Just give me the link where to contact you so they can message you or DM you after this show. All
Awesome.
right, that sounds interesting. I'd love to be part of that. Uh, Once again, thank you, everyone. Corbin, thank you very much here in Tax Savings Tuesday. I hope if you want to know more, let me know and comment below because just like you, your tax needs a break. Thank you, Corbin. Have a great day,
Thanks,
everyone.
Chris.